Alright, so as we come back into our 10th session, we find ourselves in Suno, the capital of the Caladrian Empire, and going around its outskirts by its walls, on the inside of the walls, making your way to the northern sector, upon which you guys will find the Hunters Guild, as the Kingswood is just north of Suno. So as you guys round the final curve in your little cart with your horses, you guys find yourself at the Hunters Guild. It's a fairly modest building, actually. Architecturally very square, nothing too crazy. In fact, if anything, it looks a little disheveled. Definitely the adventurous types are walking in and out, just covered in muck, head to toe, just full-on armor and weapons hanging off them as they go in and out of this building. You guys know that your contact, or at least the person you are looking for here, is a man who goes by the name of Kelk Stonehand.
We're looking for Cuck Stonehand?
Nope. That is not what I said, and I have a recording to prove it. So, would you guys like to discuss anything before entering into the facility?
So is the whole point of this just ask this guy where we need to go and then just go there? That makes it quite simple.
Probably interview him about the finer points about what he saw, but it's broad strokes.
Alright. Well,
broad strokes, yes. At most, he's just going to point us in a direction.
oh, if this is the Kingswood, do we need permission to enter?
I was under the impression that Lycus...
Can I enter? Permission granted. What did you know? No, you don't need to ask permission.
Out of out of character, I thought Kingswood was specifically a king-specific, royal-specific hunting grounds. I might be thinking of something else.
Would you like to go ahead and roll a history check?
Sure. Let me load up.
I should probably grab my dice.
Yeah.
Should I roll one too?
Yeah, you can if you want. Anybody who wants to, you can.
Oh wait, that was not the right.
What? I was out here actively trying to crash our PCs.
2032.
That's only a couple years ago.
That's really not that good.
It's really low. It's really low.
You maybe should have added
a really low roll. Yeah, I probably should have. But man, that average is low.
While we're out of character right now, I have a quick question. I do not remember why we're going to the Hunters Guild.
So, the things in the Kingswood that you guys don't... Effectively chickens that spit acid. Or at least that's how they've been described to you thus far. And Kelk Stonehand, who is one of the workers of the Hunters Guild, is thus far the only witness of it. Dude, these dice are still just on my screen. Dude, you actually crashed Forge for me. You actually crashed my Forge.
Linden
got Why
can't it handle it?
Linden got a 14, Wayne got an 11.
Hold on. The number of dice that render on the screen is capped to whatever your settings are in Foundry. So it doesn't actually physically roll 200. That'd be hilarious, though.
That'd be really funny, but it did actually just fully freeze my Forge. I don't know why.
Reload the page. Just reload the page.
I already did. Either way. So,
Nat 20.
Nat 20 for Rikus, and for... Who else actually rolled in?
15.
I think everyone did.
I think everybody did.
So...
Yeah.
Wayne, honestly, a 10 is probably more than enough to get this information. I'll give a little bit more to Rikus because of the nat 20. But just as a whole...
I've worked for these guys.
The Kingswood does not necessarily mean entrance only by approved people. It's more hunting is only approved, or you can only hunt if you are approved. Rikus, you would know that to actually hunt in this area, you would not actually have to go to the Hunters Guild to do so. Like, you can't get that in the Hunters Guild or in any other place outside of express permission from the king or one of his consorts or direct family, or someone who already has permission are the only people who can give permission. The Hunters Guild is technically a group that has permission, but they're very limited, and they're not really a Hunters Guild as much as they are a preservers of the grounds and taking care of like the predators or creatures that are destroying the rest of the good game in there.
So park rangers.
They're more park rangers than they are an actual Hunters Guild.
Okay.
And that's something that Rikus specifically would know about the Hunters Guild. But everybody else is like, okay, we can enter through. It's dead north. Like, you exit the northern gate, and within a mile, you are in the Kingswood. So it's a commonly trodden path, but it's a path that you don't kill game on. So
basically, this is how it works.
So what I'm hearing is that we're going to go hunt down some acid-spitting chickens, and the closest thing this place has to a national park.
Effectively, yes.
Do we need permission to hunt these chickens? Is what I was wondering.
We should at least let them know we're here to do just that.
So let's go inside.
Yes.
Alright, so as you guys enter into the guild hall, it is somehow even less grand and decorative on the inside than it was on the outside. The plain, like just stone floors are caked in dust and dirt, as peering around, there is no artificial lights, no torches or anything in this building. It's just the light that leaks in from the doorway and what little leaks from the windows. As you guys look around, it seems that most of these characters are probably hired hands. None of them look really official. And the vast majority of them do not actually look what you would generally consider Caladrian people to look like. These actually look probably more like they're Khatanit employees of some regard, or immigrants, refugees. Regardless, they definitely look more like people from the Iron Hills or Jelkala or Yalan.
So giant folk dwarves.
So it's predominantly dwarves, Goliaths, and humans that have slight tinges of glow to their eyes, along with some, like, normal humans, half-elves, halflings, but, like, the culture and the style and, like, what they wear is not that of Caladrian culture, more than not. And the humans with glowing eyes are descending Azamar, effectively. But so far down the list, you can barely consider them Azamar at this point. They've been so bred back into humanity.
What about Varys?
Is there someone with really bright eyes in here? So, as you guys enter in, there does seem to be like a front desk where a half-elf man is just kind of sitting down and talking with some other people as of now.
What was the description of Kelk Stonehand?
Kelk Stonehand was described as a dwarf, and that they'd be able to point you his direction when you got here. The description was not very detailed.
Well, I guess there's no better way than to ask. I'll go ahead and walk up to the front desk and ask if Kelk Stonehand is in.
So as you walk up, this half-elf, as he finishes up conversation with the others, he kind of peeks to you and you ask about Kelk, and he says, "Oi, are you the Inexorables? Inexorables. No clue what that word means."
Close enough.
Inedibles?
Inedibles? Wait. Everything's edible. you're looking for kelk, yeah?
Correct.
Dealing with the whatever the bipedal things are in the forest.
Ideally.
The funny-looking chickens, yes.
Funny looking chickens. They spit acid, by the way, too, and it melts through things real quick.
Like a basilisk.
Not necessarily like a basilisk, but basilisks don't spit venom.
I lean to Wayne and go, "Oh, is that your type? The spitting acid kind?"
They always do.
I wouldn't know.
That shiny head of yours says otherwise.
Well, at least the kind that I hang around typically don't spit.
Anyways,
So as you guys are talking about that, the guy at the front who introduces himself as Kenneth Perican, he is actually kind of like the head of the Hunters Guild, as he kind of talks about it a little bit. And he says, if you're looking for kelk, I believe he's in the back there, fourth door, fourth left, and then you take a right, and it's like third door on the right or something like that. He should fairly recognize you. You're the only clean people in this place. Well, he kind of looks over at Sakir, mostly clean. And
Damn.
as he kind of points again and tells you where to go, you guys kind of begin heading your way down the hall. And as you pass by a door where a fairly wide dwarf, more than usual, you would guess, very broad, if nothing else, that's a polite way to say it, with a big gray beard. Like, this is an old dwarf, probably sitting somewhere 300 plus years. And he seems to be polishing out, like, these metal balls, like almost what you would load into a sling.
Is there an auto standing nearby?
Is there an auto gnome? No, there is not.
You're hilarious.
Oh,
Okay. For some reason, it took me a second to get why that was going on. No, but like they literally do seem to be just like metal orbs. And as you look at his hip, there is like a very, very strong and sturdy looking sling at his hip. And he kind of turns around, kind of squints at you for a moment, and then says, "Oi! Y'all the group I'm supposed to lead into the forest?"
Inexorables.
Excuse me, what did you just say?
I said, "Are you the group that I'm supposed to be leading into the forest?"
what did you think he said?
I don't know. He talked really fast.
No, your brain's just very slow. Alright, so here's the story, and I'm sure you'll have other questions, but just to catch you up on my side before we go out there. So, there was a giant elk in the forest not that long ago that was causing some pretty big issues. It was beating out all of the other elk, because obviously it's quite a bit bigger than him. And so we were starting to lose a lot of the breeding males, the ones we leave alive, because they get good stock. And it was killing them, getting mating rights. And yeah, we're going to have giant elk now, but that's only more dangerous than the normal elk, and we don't need that. We don't need the king going into the woods with that kind of stuff around. Either way, so I went out to try and find this guy, just to track him down so that we can bring a group out later to kill it. Well, as I'm hunting this thing, I start to notice there's some other weird tracks. Almost, there are 4 prongs on the feet, and the feet are pretty big, maybe something, pretty larger than a human, but not ridiculously big. I didn't recognize the tracks, and they were following along where this giant elk was. So I eventually find the elk, and my job was done because these little things had already killed it. And by little, I mean they're smaller than the giant elk, but they're not small creatures. Either way, they're eating this thing, and they're, as the description says, bipedal, like a chicken almost, no wings, almost like scales going down the sides rather than feathers. And the head is not a normal head as you would say it. It's more like a long stalk, like say the trunk of an elephant, that the bottom end opens up sideways and was just gobbling this stuff up. And as it was doing so, it was dribbling acid all over the place that would just melt through the bone of this elk. No problems. So, I don't know what this is. When I reported it, it went up, I believe it went to some kind of cousin second removed of somebody. And they contacted the Inexorables. That's how you pronounce it, right? That's a big word. Why couldn't you just be like the Vanguard of Kyle or something like that? Something simple.
We didn't really get to choose the name.
Well, we're not with or from Cal, so no.
Well, you
Because
work.
you got to choose the name.
You work here. You're based here.
Anyway,
Either way.
you
You know,
gave a very good description.
I
Thank you.
no longer work for or with Cal.
I don't care.
There we go.
Rikus, forgive me, but that is besides the point. Anyway, so you give a very good description of these creatures. You said that they were like bipedal chickens, that they had scales. You said their mouths open sideways? What do you mean by that? Like
So
this?
their stalks coming from their neck. They don't really have a neck. It just goes straight into the head. They were probably about 2 or so feet long. Almost like I said, like a snout of some kind that's extended out. And the mouth, rather than opening like this, opened like this and was real big. And it goes vertical straight up the snout. All the way from the neck, all the way to the tip.
What check should I make for this, Zach?
I
I thought it was a dinosaur up until you said it opened its mouth.
I was
like that.
also thinking it was going to be a dinosaur.
Right.
I haven't heard a single thing that sounds like a chicken.
I messed up my mythological creatures earlier. To me it's sounding like a cockatrice, but like with the snake tail.
Alright,
doesn't-
if you guys
Nature.
want to roll history checks, you can.
History?
Yes.
History.
However, Blood Hunters, you will not have advantage. This is not something along the lines you get advantage for.
Okay, please roll good.
15.
Sorry,
Let's-
it's
whatever.
not a blood hunter feature.
That's
It is
Let's
a
go.
racial feature, and I'm offended.
You said it was
24
history,
for
correct?
winning.
So, I'm seeing all the
Wait,
rolls.
we gotta roll
and
history?
We got some good rolls
Okay, hold
here.
on. I got 20. Oh, 18.
18.
What?
So there's some
That's not
okay
what was
rolls
on my
there.
screen.
However, I do have to brace the natural 20 with a little bit more than anywhere else. Because honestly, this is a creature that none of you have any reason to know of. Like, at all. But, gotta reward a natural 20 a little bit. So,
They're
Secure.
purple.
Secure. You do not know what this is. I'm going to clarify that from the beginning. You do not know what this is. You do not know a name. However, you can say that you've read about something kind of similar at one point in the Azure Sky Library. However, before you could read through the whole of that story, you were kicked out.
That's what I was reading.
So, you know of a place, or you know that if you were to gain access to Azure Sky Libraries, you might be able to find this book and read into this a little bit. That would be pretty research heavy and take a fair bit of time. However, you will say, from what you read into it thus far, that, I mean, common sense along with, most monstrosities, I mean, if it spits acid, it's probably not going to be able to be damaged by acid. If it's got pretty powerful scales and seems to be a weird magical creature, probably won't take as much damage by non-magical means. So if you have magical capabilities of dealing damage, do it that way rather than innate. And honestly, outside of that, you know, you kind of have an idea of where you could go to maybe get some more information. But you have no clue what this thing is or what it's called.
Okay.
How fast are these creatures, if you know?
Very.
Fast enough to catch up to an elk.
So both Kelk and Sakir at the same time say very.
How many
I know
did you
little
say
to
there
nothing
were?
about these things, but
I only saw 3. I'm pretty sure there was more.
I'm sorry. They were compared to chickens.
they are not.
I don't know where down the line it was compared to a chicken. It may have been me. Either way,
It was you.
do they have wings?
No, they do not. They only are bipedal, like a chicken is bipedal. That's all the chicken.
There are a lot of things that are bipedal, my friend.
Yeah,
Do
but
they
I've
have
never
arms?
seen an ostrich. I've seen a chicken though.
Do
Have
they have
you-
arms?
Have you guys
No.
heard of raptors?
Well, how would you feel if they, you know, someone saw this really weird scaly thing that opened up sideways and spat acid and said, "Well, there's this dwarf-looking thing running around."
I'd say it's probably my aunt. But that's not what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
What does he mean by this?
Either way,
I feel
we need to go get y'all some slips so that we can get into the Kingswood and not have any problems. We need to go back out to the front and talk with him. Did Perikin not give you anything? He must have wanted you to talk. We'll go back out and visit him.
I will bring up to the group that if we're going to compare it to anything, that if they've read anything on raptors, they're not a super well-known creature, but they, I think, are more comparable. Would you agree, Zach, to what we're facing?
Slightly more. Still no arms or wings or anything. It's just 2 legs going straight up through the neck. There is nothing else hanging off the body. Except for between the back legs, but that's for obvious reasons.
They have eyeballs.
Yeah. The other thing is, I believe I know where we can get more information on this creature if we're wanting to do that. I'm not sure how necessary that will be, but if we're wanting to play it safe rather than sorry, then someone, not I, will have to visit the Azure Sky Library.
Question: when you say the Azure Sky Libraries, do you mean all the way back down south in... I remember the city name. In Revedan?
There is an Azure Sky Libraries in Suno.
Right, there are multiple.
Nearly...
Yes, but is the one in Suno going to have that same book?
They're pretty thorough. I would assume if one... You're right, that's a brazen assumption.
Wood linen, no.
There's a chance.
Not for Suno. Linen's not really been to Suno. He might have skipped through it once or twice, but he's never been there for an extended stay.
Oh. Don't look at me, I've never visited this library before.
Let me say, how far away is Suno from where we are in the Kingswood?
So you guys are in Suno. It's probably... I mean, the Kingswood is literally just outside.
Okay,
But, like,
I guess
actually...
how far away is the Azure Sky Library from here?
From here, probably half an hour through the city. Maybe more. And a local would have to lead you, because none of you guys really know Suno very well. You're probably the only one that would even... Maybe you and Rikus, so Leo and Rikus, might be the only 2 that even kind of know anything about Suno.
I would know a little bit. I mean,
Not a ton.
We could at least do an initial check today, and if we have trouble,
I've
we can
passed through.
come back to look around for information.
I always prefer to read up first, and it doesn't look like it should be that far, and considering we're not going to need to do an exhaustive search of the library, we'll only have the one book that Sakia mentioned, I feel as though it would be prudent to go to the library once we've finished here before going on to the woods themselves.
Do I remember the title
That
of that
would-
book, Zach? That might help him.
Yes, you would. I don't have anything prepared for that. So
I know.
Let me
Make one up. Come on.
Give me a second, okay?
DM things.
Anyway, whenever that title is pulled up, I would give that to you before you go.
Okay.
I'm not going to be going with you. But I would suggest, Sakir would suggest. that probably are either a good investigator or else just are nerdies too should visit this library.
Investigator.
I think Zin and Leah would probably be best at that. If we're only doing two.
Okay,
but I
so
guess the rest
the book that he relates to you guys is Ancient Beasts and Myths of Severus Calhan, the third copy.
Whoa.
Say that again.
Ancient Beasts and Myths of Severus Calhan, number 3.
Ancient beasts and where to find them.
That's not the title of that one either.
Severus? Syllabus. So what was the first name?
Severus.
Severus.
Tiberius or Severus?
V. V as in
Severus Snape.
Vector.
Severus.
Sylvanas?
Richard.
Severus Calhan.
Will be an important named character 40 sessions down the line. Remember this name.
Now I'm gonna make it one. All right, let's get it.
Calhan. He's the true person pulling all the strings. He is the lord.
I'm just imagining that like Severus Calhan was just like an ancient wizard who knew about every beast and just made made up a story about every single one, and so you guys just keep going to different number
this is only
7,
flame
number
3.
2.
If this creature's number 3, I hate to... What the hell did he write for number 1?
All right.
Well, we could always pick up all 3
We're
volumes.
going to discover him hiding in a bush in this forest when we go out there. He's like, oh, I was updating this entry. And we get there and it's actually got way more teeth and much more potent poison. And it's a pack animal. And we're just like, the fuck? Your book didn't say this. He's like, oh, I'm updating it. That was last year's copy. They've mutated.
They've evolved.
Updating it. Stop updating it.
No, I'm assuming it's Pack Hunter.
So, as you guys and Kelk make your way back out into the main area, you guys kind of pull back up to the front desk where Kenneth is at, and Kelk's like, "Hey, you've got the little slips from Caladran," and Kenneth's like, "Yes, I should probably give them that, shouldn't I?" And he goes down and he pulls out... He actually has 6. They didn't know exactly how many were going to be coming. So they hand you 6 different slips. Now, inside these, it's just a whole bunch of semi-legal jargon, effectively saying, yes, this person is approved to be in the Kingswood and hunt creatures of... And the description of the creatures absolutely does not match it, because these are supposed to be given for hunting general game, like elk or deer or, large game, not giant acid-spitting raptors. But they seem to think it'll be fine. So Kenneth kind of hands these off to you, and Kelk's like, so you wanting to hit up the library before you go out hunting?
Some information on the creatures. We believe there is a book on them. Well, I believe there is a book on them. We might get lucky. Might not.
There's a book on these things?
If you went out to hunt an elk, but you were so stupid you ended up facing a dragon.
I would never be that stupid. I would smell it
Exactly.
coming.
Exactly. We do not plan to be that stupid either. We're gonna go in there at least more partially informed than giant chicken.
Hey, you're the one who called it a raptor. If you want to start calling it Big Raptor, that's fine too.
Seems more like a raptor.
Regardless, I can lead y'all to the library if you want, but I've got stuff going on later today, so we better be heading out within probably an hour or 2.
This is
When
what
he said
all the
heading out, I
description
don't think he meant actually leaving.
sounds like.
I like it. I like it.
God.
That's what we're going to fight.
Alright. What,
No
what's the
tail,
Reddit
no
thread?
arms, no head. It's just a long stalk with a sideways mouth.
Have you seen this man? Does Wayne present that to Kel?
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, so is this what we're hunting? This is what it sounds like we're hunting.
Kelk
No.
looks over and says, no. It does have a general body, like a raptor, whatever you call it. And then the area from its neck up is all mouth on the lower end. And I think it had eyes. I don't know. I was looking at it from like a couple hundred paces away. Either way, I'm pretty sure it had its nose was extended a little bit above its general face. And that's what it was spitting the acid out of.
Alright, so this.
Make a little nose coming out from the top. I mean, the tail wasn't that long and the mouth wasn't that big, but that's a pretty good idea.
Alright.
I never knew you weren't the autistic type.
Looks like my
Autistic.
ex.
You were married.
I also said he wasn't the artistic type.
Looks like
A
my
little too
aunt.
juicy.
Alright. Well, I guess
Nephew?
we'll.
Huh? Alright. Either way, let's start heading to the library so we can get out while we still have light. He kind of looks up. It's probably about 11 a.m. as of right now. So you guys have quite a bit of daylight. But you don't know how long you'll be searching in the forest. So take that into account. So you guys take about 20-30 minutes to make your way across town and get to the Suno branch of the Azure Sky Libraries. There is a general admittance that will cost some money. However, dependent upon what exactly you're looking for, what you're looking at, you may or may not even be able to get to that section of the library.
Does Lennon not being like an Azure Sky Library monk from Revenden not give any?
It would. You do have to have certain papers and stuff with you, which I'm sure Lennon would have in his bag of holding. So
Probably.
Lennon would probably be able to get in just fine. Everybody else would be a little bit more questionable.
Two questions. One, did we not get paperwork that was like, hey, where the Inexorables were kind of an official thing? Or I guess would that not be relevant here?
You guys are effectively welcome in the Revedan branch, particularly because one of the higher ranking monks is trying to lead the Inexorables. That's why you guys have more open arms in Revedan. In Suno, they might know of you guys. The Azure Sky Libraries is not connected at a low general maintenance level. They're connected at the highest level of, arcanists transcribing books so that they may be copied in at all locations kind of stuff. That's the primary connection that's publicly known. So there's not much, the dude at the front door is going to know that the dude from Revedan is chill with you guys. That's not. They're a very large branch of libraries.
The second thing I was going to ask was, I was wondering if my credentials as a nobleman might be able to help me get in.
They might be able to help you have a little bit of sway, but it would mostly be your name and word.
Hey, James.
Because paperwork doesn't really mean that much when it comes to being a noble.
I mean, I have a noble... surely I have some sort of noble crest on her signet ring and such.
Yes, that would generally be anticipated.
If we reduce the number of people entering the library, could we possibly get?
You guys would be most successful if highest success rate is literally just Lennon entering into the library. Probably second highest success rate would be Leopold attempting to join him. And then outside of that, Rikus and Wayne are kind of on the same level of they'd probably have to pay to get in. And then Secure is questionable on whether they'll even let him in. So,
We have a history. We can go into it later. I'm not going to the library.
How do you guys wish to proceed?
I mean, I feel like it's reasonable that Lennon and I could get in at the very least.
And we can find someone else to give this ticket to. We have an extra.
I don't know if that would be wise.
Probably not.
They gave us an extra. It's technically legal to give this to whoever we want.
Kelk's just standing behind you.
Right, Kelk?
He's
Just
pulled
gonna-
out like a comb and a little spray, and he's like doing maintenance on his massive beard.
If we're also worried about our time, what if Kelk takes the others to where he first saw the creatures, and we'll meet up with them at the entrance of the forest once we find something.
Y'all got ways to communicate with each other?
No,
No.
We can buy that.
a sending stone.
Alright, if we want to leave these two shitbags here, the rest of us can go and y'all can buy some sending stones, drop one off here, and then we can take off into the forest and I can show you where I first saw these things.
Sounds good.
Alright. And also, do not give that extra ticket to some random hobo on the street, or even someone who seems official. That probably needs to go back to Kenneth.
Sounds
In
good.
that case, I'll reach for the extra ticket from Secure.
It is already in his bloody pocket.
I will still hold
thought
my
we
hand out
just-
expectantly.
I thought we
You'll
finished
take it
up
out,
the blood.
as well as several other pieces of paper, bits of lint, a copious amount of blood. He's going to hover it above your pristine, clean hand for just a second. And you do take it.
Okay.
Let's go.
Your hand is a little crustier than it was before, but
Slips them into a bag.
He
full.
put it in his dirtiest pocket on purpose. Just letting you know. Like, he has not been putting good things in there.
And then cast prestidigitation. Prestidigitation.
Secure just pulling out used condoms and bloody bandages.
Sorry guys, I'm listen to I listened to a little bit. I'm back.
Okay, hello back.
He did it. He did the joke.
He did the joke. Alright. So,
I'm back. Where on the
we are going to start with Lennon and Leopold as you guys attempt to enter the Azure Sky Library's Suno branch. And we'll join the rest of you guys as you go out to buy some sending stones here momentarily. So, Lennon, Leopold, as you guys approach the library, one, this library is more grand than that of the one in Revedan. The one in Revedan is big, don't get me wrong. Like, it is a giant library, and Lennon, as you know it, there are 7 spirals, are generally what they're called. Large, circular areas with a courtyard in the middle, so 7 like rings going around this big courtyard that have books going up probably at least 100 feet, if not more, with people having multiple floors around all of this. And there are 7 spirals in the Revedan branch. The one in Suno has 9 spirals, so it has a whole 2 more sectors of books. And generally it's known that each spiral can contain anywhere between 80 to 120,000 books. So there are millions of books here. Well over a million. Maybe not millions, but well over a million books in this Suno branch. So as you're kind of just peeking around and seeing the architecture and seeing that, wow, this is actually a much bigger area, and there's a much bigger courtyard with its own tower in the middle for the arcanists to do research and experimentation. As you kind of walk up the front steps, and as per usual, there is some pretty heavy security at the front that's, walking through the areas. And as you guys get up to the front desk, the receptionist kind of looks you guys up and down. It seems to be like a young elven man. And you notice his belt. He has a brown belt around his waist, which effectively means he's not an arcanist, he's not even a researcher. He is effectively the lowest outside of stocking books. And he kind of looks up and says, "Hello, would you happen to have admittance for this visit today?"
Yes, both yes and no. Good day. My name is Lynn Weave. I'm from the Reverdan branch of the Azure Library.
Hello, Linen of the Reverdan branch, our sister city. Welcome to Suna's branch. Have you visited before?
No, actually, last time I was here was just a quick passing through, and I wasn't a monk of the Azure Library yet. So this is quite a fascinating sight to behold. Now.
It is quite incredible. You could spend a few centuries in here and get through only one or two of the spirals. Regardless, who is your friend? I'm assuming you have some form of paperwork to prove that you are of the Reverdan branch. On
Yes.
good faith, I believe you. And who is your friend?
My name is Leopold Knockdown, and I'll make sure to have my signet ring very prominent for him to read, or for him to see, I suppose. And we are both members of an organization called the Inexorables. We're very well acquainted with the Revenant branch of the Azure Squad libraries, and we were hoping that we might be able to do a bit of research while we're here in Suno.
I don't have authority to approve or deny that. However, I do recognize the Knockdown name. Zadashian nobility, correct? Of elven nature?
Correct.
I do not remember your name, but that, to be fair, I don't remember any of the first names of that of the Knockdown family. And I don't mean that as an insult, I just haven't studied into Zadash heavily yet.
It is rather far.
Yes, on the other side of the spine. Regardless, if Lennon is able to approve paperwork, then I will be able to let you in.
Yes, of course. He'll start digging it out.
And he'll just kind of take the paperwork, and there's just like little food crumbs and like medicinal liquid spills on some of the paperwork.
It's mostly less food, more chemicals.
And he's just, why does this smell of alcohol?
Oh, my position at Reverdan is the Meister of Medicine. I study alchemical medicines and help research on a more non-magical front of healing.
Well, alright. All seems to be in order. A researcher will stay in the general area of where you are, but he will hopefully be able to lead you where you need to go. And he kind of points out to actually an even younger looking human. Like, that elf was probably 60, 70, 80 years old. Still young for an elf, but, nothing compared to, like, the 17-year-old teenage human that walks up to you and is of a higher rank than that elf and begins leading you into the place. And he just kind of looks back. So what exactly are we looking for today? What research are we interested in?
Yes, I believe...
So one book in specific, Ancient Beasts and Myths of Severus Calhand, volume number 3.
Severus Calhan. Well, that would... If it's mythical or ancient beasts, that would be in the fourth spire. Whoever is drawing the pink penis on the map, if you could delete that, I would appreciate it. Immediately knows it's Thomas, but I also saw Sakir floating his mouse around there, so I didn't know exactly what was happening.
Well, it helps that Rex's color is pink.
That is fair. Either way, that should be in the 4th spire, probably 6th or 7th floor, due to author being S. Yeah, let me take you there. And you guys walk for probably about 15, maybe more minutes, getting up to that area. I would like you guys both, and with advantage, I, with advantage, will roll for the researcher to try and find these books for you. But if you guys both want to roll an investigation check for me.
Ooh. While we're searching, that's an 11. While we're
17.
searching, Lennon will also ask the researcher if he's heard any of the news from the Kingswood, like any of the about the weird creature that showed up.
I have not heard anything unique or strange about the Kingswood. Is there something I should be worried about?
We were sent from Reverden to investigate some interesting incidents, an interesting sighting from the from the Kingswood. That's why we're actually asking for. That's why we're asking for this book about ancient mythical beasts and creatures. We're trying to figure out if there's any similarities we can find for reference.
Well, all right. I mean, I don't pay much attention to the Kingswood. I'm not a part of the guard. I'm not Huntsman Guild or anything like that. But certainly something interesting to know. I'm sure somebody here knew about that. I just don't pay much attention to that, honestly. I have enough to worry about in the city as is. Either way, what did you guys roll? So a 17 and 11. So as you guys are kind of on 3 different aisles peering through things, you guys both hear got it! As this young man pulls a book that is, has the correct title out and sets it down on a table along with some extra lighting for you guys and says, and you guys have probably been in here and separated from the group for about 30-40 minutes at this point. And he says, all right, you're welcome to take approximately up to 2 hours with each different book, as Lennon would know. Regardless, I'll stay in the general area. I'll try and find something, and then I'll be a couple tables away if you need me. Do you have any more questions?
None from me. Leopold, do you have any?
Oh, I don't believe I do.
All right, well,
Thank you, sir.
yep. All right. He kind of takes off. So, as you guys open up this copy of the book, you begin reading through it. So, in this case, it's 1 book and 2 people. Probably just going to be... Lennon's probably going to be the better one to have advantage in this situation.
Probably.
So if Leopold would like to assist, we can go
I
ahead
would.
and have Lennon roll at advantage an investigation check.
It's unfortunate because Lennon's investigation is not good.
Hey, you got a 19.
19's not bad. We just need to get you proficiency in that. I thought you could have sworn you had proficiency in investigation.
No, history, religion, and arcana.
Okay.
Oh, and is that insight? I guess insight.
All right. Either way, with a 19 is pretty good. Within half an hour, you're able to find a story that seems to describe a creature similar to it. In the story, it titles it The Digester, which is a strange name. But that is what Calhan in this book titles it as. And in this, you guys are able to learn a couple more tidbits of information. It is incredibly quick on its 2 feet. It does have a short tail on the back end that it will use to help balance at times, but generally is not used for much else other than that. Very, very, very powerful legs, allowing it to jump up or out in incredible distances compared to what you would expect. Its scaling is resistant to most innate damages. It is completely immune to any acidic or poison-based attacks. Along with that, the amount of bile and acid that it can produce is dependent on whether it's male or female, and dependent on whether that female is in heat at the time. But it can produce, especially a female in heat, can produce extensive amounts of this stuff. And oftentimes, their acid is so powerful that it can burn through dirt to a certain point, like just dirt and stone. It can just melt through it with ease. And they will use this to effectively cut out underground tunnels filled with this acid, and they do not need air to breathe and exist, so they are able to just sleep or use it as effectively a hiding place, these acid pools. And that's generally how you'll know where a pack is hiding. And that is another piece of information you get, that they generally hunt in packs of anywhere from 3 to up to a dozen. It's very rare to see on either side of that spectrum. More like 5 to 8 is most expected. They're considered a moderate to difficult creature to take down, according to this book. Now, nobody knows who Severus Calhan is. These are just books that were found a long time ago. Just because these are notes attached to this creature does not mean they will be entirely correct. Now, it is possible that Calhan ran into one of these creatures thousands upon thousands of years ago and has a pretty damn good description of it. Other times might be a completely different creature and you're going into it with really bad information. But from what you know and from what has been described, this does seem to line up pretty well.
Well, that should be some good information for now. The others should be done. I guess it's been an hour and a half at this point, maybe 2.
It's probably been about an hour and a half to hour 45 at this point. The other group has probably left and already is back outside waiting. So, going to the rest of the group, Kelk leads you guys to a nearby magic shop that is just called Zevereth's Magic Shop. It's about 2 blocks away, and as you guys kind of enter in, Zevereth is a ginormous half-orc man. The ceilings are about 10 feet up, and he has to duck sometimes. He is a very, very, very large half-orc. And Kelk kind of points you guys in. I'm assuming you guys enter. So, as you guys enter, Zeveram kind of looks over. Well, hello. What can I do for you today? Okay, so just to clarify, this is a scene with Nate, Thomas, and Jade.
Thank you.
And we were going here for
Sending stones. That way you can give stones to the rest of the party and actually be able to split your party and still communicate.
Yep. Yeah. Are we at a shop?
Yeah, we're looking for some Rocky Talkies, and Baldy over here is going to be paying for it.
Rocky Talkies and Baldy is paying for it. Alright.
I do not have the money.
You're... Both
You're
yous
not.
are bald.
I'm the bald one.
He's getting there. And Zeram's going to reach back and say, how many are you wanting? And you want them all connected? You want them just 1-to-1?
I would like 6. All connected.
6 of them all connected. Alright, well, sending stones are about 40 a pop.
Alright, let's see how much I have.
So that'd be 240 gold. I'd be willing to knock it down to 225 due to a bulk purchase.
Briefly interrupt. Doesn't Rikus still have the money from the last job?
Rikus
I
still
agree,
does
Rikus
have a large amount of money from the last job.
That sounds
You
like
are
a
muted, Thomas, if you are attempting to speak with us.
How much platinum does Rikus have?
a lot.
Rikus is waiting for his brother to ask for help.
Are you looking at him smugly? Are you?
If you turn around and look at me, then yes.
Alright, so then definitely it's first gonna be. That's a very good price drop. How about you say 225? What about 220 even?
I'm not bargaining any lower than that, I'm sorry.
And no problem. He's gonna turn around, he's gonna look at you, Rikus. You give him the smug look?
I'm giving you the smug look, yes.
I'll turn back around again. He says, fine, I'll pay. I'm gonna give him 220.
That didn't take much. So
Wow,
as
he
you
did.
hand,
He actually paid.
as you hand the 225,
I have the money, I just didn't want to use it, but then when you look at me like that, he's like, nah.
brotherly love. So as you kind of hand over the money, he slides over 6 stones and kind of waves his hand back and forth, and the same rune appears on all 6 stones, and he kind of slides
So-
them all over.
So naturally, I get 2 of them.
All right, well, if that's all you were
I'll take
needing,
one.
you're always welcome back at the shop. And as you guys are leaving, some more customers are coming in, and the very tall orc seems to oftentimes intimidate his customers, and he has a very small shop. Regardless, as you guys exit and make your way back to the Azure Sky Library, if you wanted to, you guys would have only taken about 40, maybe 45 minutes to go out and do that. You guys could leave stones for Leopold and Linen, and then begin making your way into the forest. Any input?
I like that plan of leaving the stones and then going to the forest.
All right. So
Are we able to like give it to the front door guy
Trying
and
to
he'll
figure
run
out
them to
what
he'll run the
these-
stones to him?
yes, you would be able to, and he would just give it to him as they go out,
Oh, never
as they
mind.
exit.
Okay.
So, you guys leave leave a couple of the stones, I'm assuming 2 of them, at the front desk, and then Kelk begins leading you out of the town. So, the group going into the forest, that being Sakir, Rikus, and Wayne, the trio of you, along with Kelk Stonehand, will probably be approximately an hour ahead of the other 2 members of the party. Which means you guys are entering into the forest and have begun making your way towards where Kelk first saw these things. Maybe 10-15 minutes deep into the forest by the time the other 2 even have the sending stones in their possession.
After we get a little bit of a ways into the forest, I am going to crack my mutagen and drink it. It is the celerity, so increased
Okay.
dexterity.
Yeah, dexterity.
And I am also going to activate my Crimson Right on. So yeah, so I'll take 1d6 damage.
Okay, will do.
DM, could you also tell us like approximately what once like Leopold and I
Ouch.
get the sending stone so we can know when we can send the first message?
Okay, will do. We're just going to do a little bit of introducing them into the forest, and then we'll get to that. So, as you guys make your way back up north through the city, it is truly bustling. At this point, it's a little before 1 p.m. Everybody is out, everybody's awake, and this city, with almost 700,000 people in its population, is fully rearing and ready to go. So it takes a little bit of time for you guys to get to the northern gates, but as you do, you exit the city, and a couple paces out, as soon as you crest the first hill, you can immediately see the very large and wide-spanning forest, that being the Kingswood, north of Suno. And you guys are able to get to it fairly quickly and begin making your way through the forest. Now, it is daytime, and a lot of people are leaving and returning and coming into the city, so there's a lot of traffic on the primary road, on the King's Road itself, through the Kingswood. So there's a lot of commotion through that area, and there's a lot of guards on this road during the day. But Kelk very quickly takes you off-roading, and maybe 5 minutes into being off the beaten path is when our two other friends, Lynn and Leopold, will have acquired their sending stones, if you guys would like to do some dialogue.
So, just quick question on how sending notes work, or sending stones work. Are these basically just walkie-talkies where one person can only talk at a time and everybody else is constant broadcast to everyone?
Effectively, you guys can act as though you are in the same room together. The sending stones, for me in my world, it doesn't really matter. Yes, obviously, you can only have one person really talking at a time just because that's how Discord works.
I was just going to ask if I wanted to have like a private conversation with, I don't know, I guess, Wayne. Could I
Yes,
only
you can do that.
Okay, I just wanted to have that clarified.
So these are Rocky Talkies in the sense that
Yes, they're walkie-talkies
Okay.
in the sense that you can speak to everyone, or you can speak to one person, or you can speak to two people.
or I can outwardly broadcast and listen to it like a radio while I sit by a fire next to a druid and hear my party die.
Yes, you technically could. Can I
Sorry,
put the walkie-talkie
callback.
on speaker?
Oddly,
Call back to like session 4 of the last campaign.
that'd probably be why.
It was very early.
Ugh.
Session 4 or 5, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, so Leopold, Lennon, as
Thanks.
you guys acquire your sending stones from the elf at the front desk, how would you like to give your buddies information?
Well, how would you like to do the honors, Lennon, or would you prefer I do it?
I'm bad at sending messages. It
Alright.
might be better if someone more eloquent did it.
How do I turn this on?
How do I?
I can actually pick up the tapping, I don't think. I've never tried to use a sending stone before. Are you hearing me, everyone?
We've actually been hearing you the whole time. Welcome.
Well, we found some research in that book Sakir recommended. Apparently these creatures are called digesters. They're apparently rather quick on their feet, so be careful. They also have apparently quite the jumping capability. But the most, obviously the most dangerous capability is of course that acid. They will use it to cut underground tunnels and have pits of acid that they can sleep in. And they're also, as Kilk mentioned, pack hunters. Anywhere from 3 to a dozen, but mostly within the 5 to 8 range. It's not impossible for the 3 that Kilk saw to be the entire pack, but something tells me we aren't going to be that lucky.
The book also mentioned that it was moderately difficult to take down.
Although it's unclear what exactly moderately difficult entails.
Do they typically have a pack leader?
There was no mention of it. The only mention was of females in heat being able to produce the most acid, which might recruit them to being pack leaders, might not. The book didn't state.
I wonder if they're in mating season and that's why they've become aggressive.
This acid of theirs, did it go into how they spit it? Like, is that range? Is it something that they have to bite?
It did not, unfortunately. The only thing it mentioned was that they were rather quick. So,
acid can
range
burn
may be of
through-
a limited use if they can close the distance quickly.
The acid can also burn through stone, so do be careful.
Well, if it's digging tunnels, I would assume it could possibly cut through stone. Well, we're a bit of a ways into the forest here. Sakir, why don't you give them our distance and coordinates so they can track us down easily?
Think I know what distance we are and what coordinates we're at?
Did you just forget all of your map training, your traveling training, like
Your
the training we
cartography.
learned in the first week of basic?
Leopold, now we can hear them.
Well, I
argue
can
over
tell
the
us how to
photo-
get here, but I can't tell you what coordinates we're
over the
at.
sending stones.
Well, I don't need the exact coordinates. Just tell them how many clicks we are outside of the city and what direction.
All right, I tell him that, Zach.
Okay.
North of you.
Okay, forgery and poisoners, so I don't have anything there either.
Okay. So, Lennon, Leopold, from what is told you by Sakir, effectively you're gonna walk into the forest until you enter the tree line. You're gonna go about 5 minutes, and then you're gonna take a right heading north by northeast off the path for about another 10 minutes, and that's where they are currently. You don't know if that's accurate. In fact, you doubt that it is. But it is what is given to you.
At this rate, I don't even think you can button your shirt right. Oh, that's right. You don't wear those anymore either.
Are you making fun of me for quitting the military?
No, but it's hilarious how quickly you forget things sometimes.
Just those rippling gray abs.
No one was speaking to you. Thank you for your input.
Kelk kind of...
Actually, I do want your input. What shade of gray would you say it is?
What shade of gray would he say what is?
Well, my brother's abs.
Oh,
Which at the moment are completely covered, and I am. Why are we talking of this right now?
Kelk looks towards Wayne and says, are they an old married couple or something?
Something like that.
Oh, yeah. Figures.
The answer is amethyst and grayscale.
Leopold, why are they broadcasting this over the sending stone?
Honestly, Wayne,
Yes!
I think that's the best answer I've ever heard. So I'll give you that one.
How do you
I-
turn this off?
I don't believe we can turn them off.
How do you turn it off? How do you turn it off?
I will put mine into my bag of holding.
yeah.
This way I don't have to listen to it.
I'll do the same.
I'm going to assume that at this point everybody turns off their broadcast.
Yes, I do take out my Rocky Talkie and click the rune that turns it off.
Zach, I appreciate that. That was funny.
Very much, yeah.
Anyway, so as Kelk continues to lead you guys through, he is going to roll a survival check. He is in his favorite terrain, so he gets double proficiency. If anybody else wishes to make a survival check, you are welcome to. You're probably not going to be quite as successful, but that is fine. That being everyone but Lennon and Leopold, as they are not yet here.
Well,
You said survival?
Kelk is going to survival. Yes, Kelk is going to begin leaving behind these colorful like cloths on trees, and is continuously asking Sakir or Rikus to update you two who are lagging behind as to effectively where you guys are heading.
I like the irony
Oh my
that
gosh.
for all the bullshit Rekus gave Secure, he still rolled lower on survival.
It is pretty
only
funny.
by a little bit.
Okay.
No, wait, no, but you also have a bonus. I don't.
That is a 32 for Kelp.
Oh.
So I'm pretty sure y'all are chilling.
Dang.
Nice.
And none of us really rolled
expertise-
low.
He's got expertise and he's in his favored terrain. So he has a pretty large bonus. Regardless.
Ranger.
So, as he begins leading you guys through the forest, you guys end up finding tracks of some fairly large game. Like, a medium to large sized doe. And as you guys seem to be tracking it, you find one of its footsteps is just smeared and smudged by the foot of a larger creature. And as you guys continue down that path, for Rikus, Sakir, and Wayne, it really comes to you guys just how fast this thing that you're probably fighting is. As the first footstep you see, you go and continue walking for another 10 seconds before you see its next footstep.
Mm-hmm.
It is leaping and bounding at 30, 40, 50 feet per step when it's going full sprint. It probably won't be able to do that in like a combat setting where it's actually trying to attack something, but in just straight out chasing something, it can cover extensive distances in very short periods of time. And as you guys are following along, you find these little dribbles of acid that have hit the ground and kind of melted in and made mud of the ground beneath them. The sun is just past its peak at this point, so you're starting to have a little bit of a harder time with as it's not breaking through the trees quite as well. And you guys continue along. Leopold, Lennon, I would like you guys to make a survival check. And we'll see if you guys are able to find the trail of our other group.
Was going to ask, since we were given directions from Sakir, would we get advantage on that check? Or is that what's allowing us to make the check in the first place?
The directions weren't that great.
Hold on, wasn't Kelk also like tying flags?
He was past a certain point. You still have to get to the starting point.
Okay.
Once you get there, it's more perception to follow along.
Okay.
Depending on how bad you roll, I might be a little bit more lenient.
So,
Well, Linden rolled a 5.
It is a wonder how Linden made it from Kondura to Revenden.
I'm pretty sure he stumbled and tripped his whole way there. So with a 17, you are able to find a starting point, upon which you find the first of the flags. And you kind of, as Kelk asked, pick them up as you find them. Can you guys both tell me your passive perceptions?
I don't remember.
Check.
Yeah, D2.
13.
18.
Okay.
Oh, my bad. No, I was looking at investigation. 11.
11. So with the 18 from Leopold, he is going to, without needing perception checks, able to find his way along the path. And with you guys just going, not having to track anything, you'll catch up to them fairly quickly. So as the other group, as you guys continue to make your way down this path, you get to a more beaten path where you find a leg of a doe along with its child, and the child was left by the digesters, seemingly because it's not enough meat, and it is merely standing over the leg of its mother. As Kelk kind of walks up to it, he kind of sighs really big. Alright, well, he goes up to turn the leg over, and the calf kind of runs off into the bushes as he does, and you see the acid just smeared on the meat, and you can see as it makes contact with the flesh, it is just melting through it, with extreme ease. This acid is going to be very dangerous. And as he does, he kind of takes out a knife and cuts away where the acid is going through the meat, and then kind of just throws the leg into the bush nearby. Says, maybe something will come by and eat that. Alright. We're well on its
How
path.
long ago was this?
Maybe 20 minutes. Maybe. The acid was starting to get real slow, so I'm assuming it was fairly recently. But long enough ago to where its potency had worn off. We're well on its trail. At this point, we're following, mixed brush and stuff as it's dragging this thing through the woods, or at least that's what I'm assuming what we're going to end up having to do.
So it's moving slower now that it has something to eat.
Well,
Should we maybe slow down to let the other group catch up?
yeah, I'd say that's probably a good idea. In this case, we're probably not going to catch them on the hunt. We might even be able to set up something around their nest, whatever you want to call it. We'll just have to see. Alright, well. Circle of life, I guess. And
Brutal.
we're going to go ahead and roll another survival check. Anybody who wants to join, you can.
Is there a point?
Is this for everybody or just the three who
This
are?
is just the three that are currently with Kilk. Well, you guys might actually need it, because that roll... Oh my god.
I rolled a 5.
Okay. Well, he rolled about as low as one can at 16. He rolled a 1 and a 2. So... Hey! Alright.
Okay.
He's a plus 14.
He does have a plus 14 only because he's
He's
in
a
his favorite
ranger.
terrain. Because in favorite terrain, you get to double your proficiency, which in this case he has expertise, so he doubles that for all of his rolls. For all wisdom and intelligence-based checks while in his favorite terrain. Regardless. So, he continues leading you guys. It's far less efficient. You think maybe seeing the calf have to deal with that maybe messed him up a little bit. It's very obvious that he does very much care about nature and care about this forest and the ecosystem here. So as he's going by, he kind of takes you in the wrong direction and has to double back a little bit. Because of that, Lennon and Leopold, who are probably not being very quiet as they make their way through the forest, are very easily heard as they come up behind you guys. And as you do, Kelk kind of, settles everyone down. Is there anything you guys would like to say to each other before we continue?
Probably just musing a bit on tracking things down in the forest. It's been a while since I've done this. More of my traditional hunting ground rather than the more urban work we were on our last mission.
Kelk says, well, if you've done a lot of this before, you're up at the front with me, because I could use some help finding these tracks. They're about 30 to 40 paces between each bound, so they're a little tough to keep up with. It's more like 20 now that he's carrying something.
Yes, I don't know if they relayed the information we read, but they evidently are quite the jumpers.
Quite. With that, Leopold, if you would like to join in and roll a survival check as well. I don't know if you're going to be that much better than anybody else that's rolled up to this point. But
I've got a +3.
hey,
Yeah.
Lennon will roll.
Don't worry, I'm just
then-
gonna get lucky. He says as he rolls on that one. It was a 6 +3, 9.
13 for Lennon somehow.
okay. So, not too much of a help, but more eyes lowers the DC a little bit, makes it easier to find. You guys are able to spread your paces out a little bit. So as you guys close in, the tracks seemingly expand. As Leopold, you find a second set of tracks that seemingly joins up side by side with the first that caught this doe. It also seems to be dragging something of its own. And you guys continue for maybe another half of a mile before you wind up on this, you can't even necessarily really call it a clearing. but it's definitely more cleared out than most of the rest of the forest. And as you do, this is pretty flat. There's no like high ground that you're looking down into this area. But if you guys all turn towards Forge, you guys all should now see another map. I don't know if you can.
Yep.
You guys see it just fine. There should be no visibility issues for you guys.
Miyazaki and the poison swamps again.
So
Yep.
we're gonna go ahead and drop you guys down on the south side of this area as of now.
Ooh, and we're even using a hex map.
We are using a hex map. And another thing to note, you guys are technically not on the map yet, but I don't know if you guys can be outside of the map, but you guys are probably more down in this area.
Man, Rekus gets to appear gets a body double. That's sick.
Okay. So, as you guys peer into here, I would like you to make a perception check.
Can do.
Wow!
Wow.
Nate, you're having some tough luck this session.
Say that, I rolled 2 twos.
21.
I had advantage, and I rolled 2 twos.
19 for Linen, I guess. You know, it must be bad if
I don't know, the animated dice, I don't know if I like them or not, because they make it seem like it's gonna be a 17 or 19, and then it goes to a 3.
So, Thomas, are you here?
No, he's laying
He said
down.
he had to go lay the child down.
Okay. Just wanting to
So
make
we
sure.
might need to take a break for him.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and real quick pop open his sheet and roll him a perception check.
Man, it must be really rough if
Oh my.
the least perceptive person gets a high roll.
Well, hey, Rikus got a very high roll. So as you guys peer around, you guys are going to be very quiet, and Kelk is going to go ahead and cast a Pass Without Trace. So I would actually also like everyone to make me a stealth check.
Yeah.
As you do not see any creatures yet, it is probably best to be stealthy at this point. And you are going to add +10 to all of your rolls due to the Pass Without Trace.
Hey!
24 for Linen.
That's an 18 plus 5 plus 10. 33.
17.
29.
So we've got 29 for Wayne, I'm at 24 for Linen, 33 for Secure, 27, and then, oh my gosh, with a +18, he still only rolled a 21 for Kelk.
I had the best stealth. Booyah.
You did have the best
So,
stealth.
hold on. If he casts Pass Without Trace, I don't think any of us counted the +10.
None of you guys did. I am counting it in as I go in afterwards. So 19, 24, 33, 27, and 21.
I don't think Rekus rolled either.
No, he didn't. Let me roll for him real quick. Gotta do that.
What?
So a
What?
29.
Holy smokes. Oh, that was total.
Yeah, total. I did add the +10 in there, unlike all you
Yeah.
schmucks.
Yeah, I didn't.
So, as you all are sneaking in, kind of trying to peek around trees, this cleared out area, there's acid all over the ground. Now, most of it's just like taking down trees or cutting through areas. You guys do note that in different corners, I'm gonna try and... I really need to do so much more research into how this actually works, I'm gonna be honest.
That's how you move it around. Ah, that's so much better. Finally.
How do I ping?
hold left click.
Okay, so you guys do see kind of a broken down, ruined building over here. I don't know if you guys as players can see into it, but you can't see into the inside, but you can tell that there's some kind of building that was here at one point. Rikus points out that from your guys' line of view from down here, you're able to see obviously the 4 separate pools around this area that, due to your research, you probably know are somewhat interconnected in some way or another. And over here where Sakir is floating over, there does seem to be the body of some humanoid person and some quadrupedal creature, probably a dog of some form. You don't know if it was a hunter or a traveler who is taken off guard and swept away. As far as you guys knew, that there were no missing persons related to this and no dead people. So this is probably very, very recent. Probably happened earlier today. Looking around other points of this map, right by this pool at the bottom right, it seems that they've separated some things out. There is a large pile of bile and defecation beside this tree. Seemingly this is your bathroom corner. In the other close corner to you guys, the bodies of multiple different deer. There is an elk along with some smaller creatures that honestly were not worth taking. Things like raccoons or possums, smaller creatures that half of their body is now gone because acid touched it. But there is a pile of them down here. And there does seem to be... There's probably something special about these upper pools, some part of aspect of their life that is only done around this pool, but from this distance and with the trees in between, you can't really tell what that is. But as you guys are peering around, none of these creatures are out and about right now. How would you guys like to... Yes, Secure.
Where do the tracks lead?
The last track that is seen, both of them lead right here to this bottom left pool where the bodies were dumped. And that is the last you see of the tracks. But
They burrow. I would assume that they are inside of their own acid in these pits.
But there
Or
are
burrowed
tracks.
some hole nearby.
There are tracks all about this area, both long jumps, shorter jumps, general walks. Like, this is very obviously the stomping grounds of these creatures.
Okay, my bad.
How would you guys like to prepare for the possibility of them being inside these pools?
Do we have anything we can set up? They're not necrotic creatures or something that we can use radiant or holy water against.
DM.
Yes.
Would these creatures be considered magical?
Depends on your definition. They may have some magical traits. Whether the creature itself is innately magical is another story. What is your sense?
I have a wand of detect magic, and I was wondering if they would ping on that.
They would probably not.
Give it a shot.
So you guys know the category of these creatures to be monstrosities. Most monstrosities would not ping on a detect magic.
Yeah. I just didn't know if them being, from the umbral plane of whatever, if they would be considered magical for the purposes of detect magic.
The land that they're from, very magical. They themselves, not particularly magical.
Okay.
I am back, by the way.
Hello, Thomas. How are we doing?
Doing well.
Alright. Well, to catch you up a little bit, I don't know how much you've listened to, but you guys have effectively tracked these creatures to the pools that are assumed to be their nest or camping grounds. There are the bodies of doe and other large and small game set beside the pool at the bottom left, and that is where the last of the tracks of the 2 creatures you were tracking lead to. We are discussing now, you guys are stealthed and have looked around the area, passed without traces on you due to Kelk. And outside of that, we're now discussing how you guys would like to set up an ambush or jump them, or how you guys want to do this.
Cool. I see that my rolls came out pretty decent.
Your rolls did come out pretty dang decent. So is there anything else you guys would like to talk about? Anything you'd like to do?
I don't really have anything until I see something to shoot.
We don't really have a trapper with us, do we? I look over at Kelk.
Kelk
as I say
kind
that
of
to you.
says, I'm not allowed to set traps in the forest.
Well, we can give him a different name.
I
It would be very helpful.
I don't have the materials with me to do something like that because I'm not allowed to set traps in the forest.
So you're telling me this steel contraption that I have that may or may not go off and snare someone's foot
I could
will,
seemingly fail to perceive that.
It's a weapon that he's just not holding at the moment, and it
Wait, you
went
put
off
your trap?
when they stepped on it.
I mean, surely we can set up a simple rope trap of some kind. Oh, we all have rope, yes?
I mean, yeah, but also these creatures are very fast and jump very high and very long. So if you're setting rope traps right around its pool, don't expect it to work.
Yeah, I think that's the hardest thing about capturing these things with traps, actually, is the fact that they're so mobile. They can get to us wherever we are, in the air, under the ground, on the ground, and it's really hard to stop them. I'm not sure, honestly, that first idea of traps, admittedly, wasn't a very good one. I apologize.
What if we lure them pool by pool into one centralized location?
Well,
Like,
pools are likely connected. They're not isolated. At least, presumably. The book did mention networks of tunnels.
Any weakness?
None particularly mentioned, sadly.
Probably
our
resistant to poison.
Yeah, I think at best, yes, they're completely immune to any sort of poison or acid. But I think the best, well, regrettably, I think the best method may be to simply try and draw them out and take them out as they come.
I think that might be best as well. I think we also, just thinking about it, we should probably split up into a couple groups. One group kind of move up into farther into the northern quadrant, and then one stay closer down here in the south, and then just not let anything get out.
DM, what am I seeing up here?
You cannot see into that. These are walls.
But like I'm seeing, but I do see walls here.
Yes, there are walls here. They're ruined, but you can't quite see into the building itself.
Okay.
All right.
Roughly how tall are those walls?
4 or 5 feet. So you could easily vault them if you were in that area. Might cost you a little extra movement, but...
Okay.
Okay.
Well...
So I should also note I'm going to summon my Force Ballista, because that is a bonus action.
I need to be more close and personal with my enemies if I'm going to kill them. I suggest that you ranged people stay guard the southern portion, and anyone, Linen, who fights more with fists, we can move forward.
Okay. I'm more of an agile utility.
Alright. Well, remember, we're trying to box these things in and not let anything get out. We should have a good mix on both ends of this fight. I don't know what y'all's skills
I do think
are.
that sending in a sniper into the midst of it might not be the greatest idea.
We're not going to be in the midst of it. We're just going to be on the outskirts, just on the other side of this clearing.
I'll go north with Sakir just because I'm fast.
Alright. I'll go with you guys.
Sounds good.
So, if you two and Kelk would like to roll another stealth check, you guys still have the bonus, the big bonus. And
I'll go ahead and activate my rights on my fists.
Okay. And Kelk rolled a 27 on stealth. Add the plus 10,
19.
Lennon. Yeah, add the plus 10.
DM, is there like a tall tree that I see nearby me that I could scale for a better view of the area in front of me?
You could scale a tree. I would like you to roll a dexterity check, just flat dex check, to climb up there and get a good position. We'll say that there's a tree down over in this area, and we'll move you over there.
Okay.
I'm invisible.
Oh man, not an acrobatics check.
So you guys sneak around the outside.
Wait, just a flat dex or kind of
Flat dex.
acrobatics?
Just flat dex.
Aw,
It's not a
Are we
high
over here?
DC. Calm
I
down.
know.
So
It's only a
question,
difference of +1, but
DM.
Yes.
So I have the spell web. I'm wondering if I could potentially anchor the web on either this pool or this pool in such a way that it hangs over the pool itself, such that it could block anything from getting out. Anything getting out would be caught, but wouldn't actually be close enough to get burned by the acid.
Okay. Let me look up the web spell real quick.
the acid pool has to make a dexterity saving throw.
Well, no, I'm trying to anchor it over the pool, so anything trying to leave the pool would get caught.
So the only pool you could effectively do that on would be the pool up here, and or the pool down here. The pool down here you could probably do it on as well. It's a 20-foot cube, so you'd barely be able to do it here because it has to be anchored between two separate points, and if it is not anchored solidly between two things such as walls or trees, layered floor, ceilings, whatever, the web will collapse in on itself. So the only two pools you could do that to would be one of these two pools. However, you would be able to block off the majority, if not the entirety, of the pool. This pool, I'll say you could block off the entirety. This pool, I'd say a little bit of this area here would still be able to get out of, but from what you've heard of the size of these creatures and their footprints, they probably wouldn't be able to get out.
Yeah, because even if that would only buy us one round while they melt through it with the acid, that's still one round to shoot them.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and probably just right there. And
We have a chance to see inside of the walls while we were passing by on the left side.
Sure, go ahead and roll a perception.
And I would presume that the actual launching of the web is pretty silent and doesn't reveal myself or
Yes.
disturb the creatures in the acid pool.
I would say that yes, you are able to do it very silently and quietly. Okay, so how do we... Web's
so
a
would you say-
20-foot cube.
Yeah. You say that is about how it's covered?
Yeah, we'll just go ahead and leave it at that.
Sakir, we're just not good in the forest.
No, we're not. My survival was a 5.
Yeah.
Dang.
And I would also like to ready a crossbow bolt, which I'm just going to reflavor as a gun. Sadly, I can't use firebolt because that would burn the web that I just set up.
Nice.
Beautiful web.
Web.
All
Great.
of my attacks are fire
Web.
attacks, or shatter.
I have
Okay.
a big variety. I'm proud of my variety. I'm gonna keep
So-
it as it is.
We have the web down on this pool. Is there any other preparatory spells? You guys rolled very high on some survivals and stealth, so you're able to do a little bit more prep here. Is there anything else you guys would like to do?
Give me a sec.
I would like to hold a hybrid transformation as soon as I see something come out.
Okay.
Let me just read this spell real quick. Because I don't think this is... Wait.
DM, I can't remember. Is Ensnaring Strike something I can cast and then the next time I hit a creature?
I believe that is correct. Let me look at your character sheet real quick, just so that I'm not talking out of my butthole.
Does anyone want to do any final ability checks? Because I can cast guidance.
So, Ensnaring Strike is something that you say I'm adding on to this attack. Not I cast this and on my next strike it occurs. You
Okay.
say you roll. Oh, I rolled a 19. I hit. Okay, I'm gonna use Ensnaring Strike on this.
I think this is the 2024 version of the spell, but I'm using the 2024 version of Ranger, so this is what I get.
Yes, it is. So, that is how that works.
And I will say one last comment that I just realized that would have been very handy for the entire last fight that we had. Apparently, I have an Arcane Firearm feature that I thought it only applied to level spells. It applies to cantrips as well, so I get an extra D8 on my cantrips.
Nice! That's pretty
Would
pog.
have been really nice to know.
That would have been very nice to know. Alright, so,
Can we ask Kelk while we're passing by if he can see into there? See if he can spot anything.
Kelk, as he peeks by, he says, yeah, there was just some kind of well that was blocked off in there. I didn't see anything else of note.
Well, they are burrowers. Maybe Leopold was right and there's some sort of tunnel network underneath us.
Maybe. That well didn't really look big enough to fit any of these creatures, though. I think they just built, like, spat pools around this area. Maybe they, like, lay eggs in that building, and that's why there's that big old pool at the front. I don't know. I don't know if these are egg layers.
Yeah, the book didn't really say anything about that.
Alright. As he's noted down, what is everyone's passive perception?
Not good.
21.
11.
18.
17.
Okay. So, Mr. 21, Wayne Casaurus Rex. As you're kind of knelted down, sitting by a tree, kind of like trying to cover yourself in the foliage as best you can, everyone seems quiet, almost distracted by the idea of this combat that's going to be occurring soon. And as you kind of peer up, you perk your ears, and you swear you hear just ever so slight just thumps in the distance. They're super faint. Then you hear a twig snap, and it's way out in this direction, so it's off to the west. And as you keep hearing these, you notice that you actually hear two sets as these thumps get louder and louder. And as you kind of point them out to the people around, they also notice these thumps that seem to be getting closer. And then bursting out of the trees on this side of the clearing, you guys see two of these creatures in all of their glory peer out. They are fairly large, and the pair of them come out from the trees over here, and they begin moving down towards this pool, as it seems they're each carrying what seems to be half of some kind of large game. You can't quite tell if it's like an elk or maybe something different. The skin and a whole bunch of it has kind of melted off due to the acid. These creatures have definitely already been in a bit of a skerfuffle. So, how would you guys like to proceed?
They just ran back in. What are they about to do? What does it seem like? Are they about to
It
bodies in the
seems like
acid?
they're literally just setting down the bodies. Or at least that's what it appears to be occurring as they're moving down towards this pool.
Oh, they're so far away.
DM, just to clarify, I am scoping down with my rifle at the moment.
Okay, you're able to scope down with them, yes.
So I'm going to... Yeah, I'm going to take out my walkie-talkie and whisper to... I'll whisper to Lennon since he's up there, and well, actually no, I can broadcast everyone. One, I'll say,
Yes, you could.
should we take the shot here or not?
Rikus is going to respond. Hold on, DM. The Rocky Talkies, I can do the telepathic, right?
Yes, you can do them telepathically.
Okay, but telepathically, Rikus is going to respond. Well, I have one dialed in, and we'd have the surprise.
Alright.
On the other hand, I can run out as a punching bag while you guys get your pot shots off. I can go ahead and give myself some protection. I have a healer behind me, and I have to be in melee anyway. I can sprint across the field, get their attention, back's turned, then you get your shots in the back.
Linen. I'll preemptively cast guidance, just in case. I'm preemptively casting guidance on Secure in case he plans to run out.
Rikus, your call. Should I run out first, or should you take your shots first?
Shots then run?
We'll take our shots, and then you make a dash. They should be
Alright.
confused for a moment. Leopold, let's aim for the one on the right. I don't know how tough these things are, so we might as well at least eliminate one.
Alright.
Zach, I
Take
hyper
the
transform, and I'm holding dash action until the shots ring out.
And
Okay.
I'm going to hold a firebolt, which I can use since they aren't on the web.
Okay, will
Oh,
do.
we got Secure. You got guidance on ability checks for a minute.
Nate,
And
is
you
there
might have blood
anything
on your
would like
face
to
if you were
hold?
touching me right then.
It's fine. Linen's used mainly his own.
Wayne, is there any action you would like to hold?
I am going to twin guiding bolt.
You're going to twin a guiding bolt to start. Okay.
DM, am I able to hunter's mark with my first shot here?
When it comes to holding an action, you can only hold the action.
Well, I believe I'm making the call to fire the shot. I'm not holding an action. Like, Leopold's waiting for me to fire.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in a surprise round, how I run them, you only get your action or your bonus action. You pick one.
Okay.
So you can't get this massive, huge damage dump just to start every combat.
It'd be nice. But anyways, I'm sorry, I always forget. It is just one regular action, so I can. Do I get extra attack with it?
Yes, you still get your extra attack. It is
A
one whole
hog.
action. The attack action is 2 attacks at this level. So,
Hog.
so as we get into this, we are going
Also-
to, I'm going to assume, begin a surprise round as you guys begin to unload on these creatures and
I assume we also tell.
dash in. I'm
we tell
assuming
Kelk.
that you guys also
Kelk.
whisper to Kelk.
Yeah.
Kelk doesn't really have a great 100-foot ranged ability.
Doesn't he have the 6th sending stone?
No.
No, you guys did
He
not
doesn't.
give him the 6th standing stone.
Linen will like stand here and tell.
Where's the other sending stone then?
In
On-
Jade's pocket.
Why did you not give it to?
Because
I didn't-
you guys
I was
never
going to,
said
but-
you were doing it.
Yeah.
Um,
You never said anything about it.
Linen is casting
Brother.
a spell. We're gonna wait for the shots and then we're gonna rush out.
okay, so everyone's waiting for the shots. So, Rikus, if you would like to open up with your string of attacks. Actually, let's open up with initiative and see how that goes.
Damn, here I was hoping for some back shots.
That's cringe.
I forgot how to. It's been so long. I
In a
forgot how to
moment,
roll.
Pookie.
I figured out how to roll initiative.
Roll.
Well, share with the
initiative.
class.
Are you
right?
kidding me?
Oh, there it is.
18.
Why do I roll such garbage? Like seriously, I think my
Wait, where-
average is definitely
Why
somewhere.
is
below.
everything a fucking 2?
How did
So
you
many
roll a
twos
4.14?
I have no idea.
Why did you do 2 plus 0.14? Why'd you do that?
The plus is
Oh,
to
it's supposed to
auto
be-
calculates your
Yeah.
tiebreaker,
Yeah.
which is your
Between
dex.
ties.
Um,
So my dex is
Jeez, you got a
23.
23 dex?
Thomas,
Hell yeah, I do.
I am attempting to roll for our extras on this board.
Got advantage?
But you don't want them to be seen.
No, I'm fine with them being seen. I'm just not seeing the button for it.
You need to highlight them, and then click the add actors to
Initiative.
initiative.
God, you were so close on that one. If that went poorly.
Add actor to initiative.
I can't remember what it says.
I was
but-
gonna say, because I'm not seeing at all kind of what you're talking about. Give me a moment.
Okay, so another way to do it is if you
Well, that's
highlight all of them. You highlight all of them, and then you can go to either the in combat encounters tab and click roll initiative for what like all, or I believe you can right click, like highlight all of them and right click one of them.
I'm gonna quickly go to the restroom before
I
I
can't
start
remember,
this
dude.
spell.
Yeah,
It's
I'm going
been
to need
it's
a
been
moment to figure
a
this
number
out.
of weeks.
It has been a long time for me since I've done this. I know that I've done this before.
I have not, so I cannot help you in that regard.
Do we get our full action for this, or is this still the surprise round?
This is the surprise round.
Ah, that sucks. That really sucks.
It does suck not being able to nuke them all down in one turn and suffer no danger.
Yeah, because what I want to do is I want to dash and then teleport, but that's my action and my bonus action. So I'm only going to be able to run and then teleport, which is very sad. I will not make it all the way there. I'll be 30 feet away from them. Might not make a difference, but then I wouldn't get like reaction for if they got out of my range. So
True.
oh crap! I didn't activate everything. I have one more thing to activate. Crap!
Womp 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 womp. Also, man, they're rolling even more dog shit for initiative.
I got 12. Do we
Okay,
have
who's a childish thug?
That's just the closest thing I could get to Kelk. Let me rename it real quick.
childish thug?
I had no idea he was childish or a thug.
There we go. Now it's Kelk. Okay, and that's fine. He's on the lower end of initiative. Okay, well that was a pain to figure out, but
I know there's multiple ways to do it
yeah.
due to the modules installed, but
Yeah, it was frustrating, but that's fine. We're here now. So, Thomas, go ahead and kick us off with your first 2 attacks. These will be at advantage.
Alright.
Childish thug.
So, rifle. Hunt. Wait. Sorry. There we go. Attack! At advantage.
Spicy nat one.
This is 26.
26 does hit.
Um,
20.
and then the second attack at advantage.
Hmm.
So the 30 hit.
Yeah, so 30 does hit.
I think you're rolling with triple advantage.
Yeah, why do you?
No, I have
Elven
Elven accuracy.
He has Elven accuracy,
Oh.
so
Oh.
he has advantage. can
Do
technically.
I have
If I have
elven accuracy?
advantage,
No, you do not have element accuracy.
It is a feat, brother.
That
that
is a
you
feat.
have to take.
Sadness.
And it also
Okay,
only
so-
works on dexterity. It works on basically everything but strength.
Yes.
Well, I'm dexterity based for attack. Wait, am I? I can't remember.
No,
I think I
it
am.
was
Yeah.
strength.
I should be. One sec.
Yes.
Yeah, I
here
am.
is a dexterity-based attacks.
okay, due to
Alright.
my active Crimson Right, I deal 1d6 extra damage on each of those
Yes, you do.
attacks.
So these are going to be.
And
pretty
that's
big
thunder
hits.
damage.
And which one are you
Lightning.
targeting?
This one.
Okay, will do. The one I was pinging. Got it.
Whoa. 1d6. Normal. First attack is 21 damage,
21 damage. Okay.
and second it's not giving me the option. Attack. Damage. That's dumb.
Zach, did I need to roll, like specifically from my character sheet, my initiative, for it to appear on this track that we have?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, I rolled a 12. Is there a way to manually put it in, or should I re-roll? Or
Just go ahead and re-roll. You have a good dex. You're more likely going to roll higher than lower.
Rolls
yeah.
now
Oh,
one.
that's why because I rolled a 7 last time.
And the second attack is a 28.
Okay, so a 21 and a 28.
Say, I thought you already rolled your second attack.
I rolled worse.
He
Why?
rolled
No, I didn't. I
his-
didn't do the damage on my
He
second
rolled his
yet.
attack, not damage. Okay,
Oh.
so a total of 49 points of damage to
To be
this
fair, I think we're still
digester.
in the same initiative order.
Yes, man.
Yeah, it was the same initiative order. You're right, but I rolled worse. That's the point. Like, why? A 7 and a 6.
Okay, one moment.
Skill issue.
Right.
It's that negative.
It is.
luck.
Sure.
Okay, so pretty big chunk of damage. So we're gonna move down to Linen next. We'll do this in technical order.
Yeah. Mine was just casting guidance on Sakir.
Okay, you're just casting
I don't
guidance on secure.
Yeah, I don't have any ranged.
Leopold. Next up.
So, how rigorously are you going to enforce like meta knowledge, DM? Because I don't think Wayne made his intent known, but I don't know if a firebolt would kill the animal that.
You have no meta knowledge. Play it however you wish.
Okay, in that case, I did say that I was going to shoot for the front one, so I am shooting for that front one.
Okay.
Let's see.
Well, we had agreed to shoot the same one, so
I know, but Wayne was going to twin a guiding bolt, and I didn't want to like kill the first one when we could have twinned it and action economy stuff. Also, one thing I should ask: how do you get like the small character portrait to pop up, like up in the top left? So it's much more convenient than pulling open my character portrait every time.
click on your token.
You have to select token.
I mean, I can like single click on it and nothing does it. And if I now it works. I don't know. As soon as I say it, whatever. Spells, firebolts.
Did it? He did
A lot of bad initiatives.
I'm not used to using this as well. Spells, firebolts. Choose what to do with previous roll. Discover this. How do I select specifically to shoot it? Oh. Attack. Normal. Do I get advantage because
Yes, you do. This is a surprise.
I should have
round.
done that. Yeah. I'll just roll again. 18.
18. That does hit.
Alright. Spells, firebolts.
We know their AC is at least 18, guys.
at most be accurate.
It says you must have rolled the attack before rolling damage, but I already rolled the attack.
Tell it is gay. Combat on this system is going to be a bit of a learning curve. So,
Why our allies?
what'd you say?
Sorry.
Nate?
Is that why our ally is red?
Your ally is red. I do believe that's because the system wants to say he's a bad guy.
DM right click. Oh, sorry. You got to change the actor token to
There we go.
not enemy. There we go.
Okay, so how do I actually make this let me roll the damage on the attack automatically? Because it won't let me, and it's being annoying.
Let me look at your character sheet real quick.
Because I'm trying to do just spells, firebolt, and it's not letting me do it.
I think you have to, don't you have to target the enemy first? Like left-hand side under token controls, select target, which is the bullseye.
You can also select a target by hovering over its token and pressing T. You'll see arrows appear around its token to notify you that it is targeted. There's also going to be a dot at the top of it showing who is targeting it.
And so then when you roll your action, it should auto-target.
Okay.
And
If
it'll do
I
an
roll-
animation. Which
If I roll
forgot
a
about.
new attack, I'm going to roll a new attack, but I
Like,
already hit
use
the last
18.
one.
Yeah, use the 18.
Yeah. It was a 27, which would have been a crit, but oh well.
Move.
So now, how do we get this to roll the damage?
Should be like
Because I don't need to like pull out a new firebolt, do I?
no, it should be on the text prompt. It's or the
It should be on the text prompt. On the, on the
It's not
chat.
giving me any prompts to wait. Okay, now I see it. Which I guess I got a 5, and this isn't accounting for my arcane firearm, so we should add an extra D8.
Which you can type the D8 into the situational damage when the prompt comes up.
Okay, so 9 points of damage to this target.
Yes, and I cannot bonus action for Force Ballista, so 9 damage. Woo!
Yay!
Hey, it could be worse. Okay,
Yeah.
so moving on from Leopold, Secure.
Epic. Okay, here's what Secure's gonna do. Secure is gonna let out a blood curdle, and he's gonna run 30 feet right towards them. Get out of the way. 30. Boom. That was tool, not the. Stuff's getting in my way. There we go. 30. And then he's gonna teleport another 30 feet with the Blessing of the Raven Queen, which will give him a resistance to damage.
Okay, will do.
DM, I forgot to mention. 2024 rules on Ranger. Due to my weapon mastery of the rifle, the creature that I hit is slowed, and his movement is reduced by 10 feet.
Okay, will do.
Could I, as I'm running past, try to glimpse the cave again?
Sure. Yeah, sure. Go ahead and roll another perception check.
Sweet. Okay. D20 plus 3. And I might use your guidance on this. We'll see. Alright, 13. I'm using it. Gosh darn it. It's a D4.
A D4.
Well, I don't think guidance is consumable. I'm pretty sure it's just concentration.
No, it's like I think it's the first. I think the
Guidance.
first.
15.
check. Let me.
Oh
Guidance
no, I'm confusing that with bless.
Guidance is a concentration until the spell. Yeah, it's until spell ends.
Yeah.
any ability check. So you got guidance for a minute until I lose location.
So you got D4s for a minute. If you would like to roll 1d4 and use that for the next minute, that is fine.
No, I'll re-roll every time. I got a +2, so I have a 15.
A 15, you gain no new information.
Oh, it's just
Rip.
I look in there. There's some kind of cave. That's it.
No, you just didn't roll high enough to see anything new.
Ah. Okay, that's my turn. I can't do anything else.
You could use your action to dash, because
I used a bonus action.
You used a bonus action? Okay.
Yep.
Will do. So, bonus action, you have resistance to all damage. After your turn, we are to Wayne.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, blood-curdling scream, and I am huge.
He's a big boy.
I am distraction.
So I target it, and then I go to my player character.
And then, I'm gonna say if you're twinning it, do you roll separate damage or do you roll 1 damage?
You
It's
roll
two
two
separate-
attacks. It's 2 separate attacks against 2 targets.
Oh, right.
And it has to be on 2 separate targets.
What do you mean I have no available spell slots?
Your
Good.
spell slots probably didn't get reset from the last fight, because I don't think mine did either.
You gotta manually do it.
Oh, are they supposed to be full of color?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were supposed to be empty of color.
That's how I would
But the-
think it too, but I guess
It's
not.
the opposite of D&D Beyond, then.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We all need to do like 5 hours of tutorials to figure out this virtual tabletop. There's
It's
a
fine.
lot
I mean,
to
you
it.
say that for like any virtual tabletop.
Yeah.
Just set your own personal counters in somewhere.
I mean, it's okay. I mean, I did a campaign with my family on Roll20, and even after 50 sessions, we were still trying to figure out what the fuck Roll20 was doing.
Well, that's because it's roll 20.
Roll 20's
Yes.
special.
It is
Special
special.
ed.
It is special ed.
I got a 22 against the right one.
Okay. And then the left one? Higher. 23.
23.
Nice.
So now I just click damage.
Wow.
Why doesn't the other one have a damage button?
Did you?
Oh, you did the thing I did. Just pull the guiding bolt prompt up again, and just click the damage button instead of attack. Well, actually, no, you can't do that.
I mean, you could just
roll
manually roll
46.
46 2 times. Or just
Was
manually
that max
roll...
damage?
Yeah, it's max damage on that first one.
Damn.
The
Okay.
one on the right, I rolled a 24. It's literally 4 6s.
That's
Hell
awesome.
Damn, that's wild.
The power of Kilimbar.
And now the other one's half that.
That's still
12 damage
I mean,
on the left.
that's
And
still
we get
medium.
advantage on the next attack on both of them.
Okay.
Yep.
That is correct. So, if you guys will
Dude,
remember
this
that,
is
I will
so
do my
fucking
best
cool.
to
I
as
love
well.
advantage.
I don't know how to mark them for that. One moment, let me...
So I know in roll 20 you can have like certain markers on tokens. I don't know if you can do that here or not. I
You
have to
can,
do it.
it's just not as blatant, and I don't know how to do it as well. Either way, so we are going to go ahead and go down to the last member of the surprise round, which is your boy, Kelk.
Let's go,
Who's
There you
going
go.
to move 25 over here. And he is 70 feet from this one, and he is going to aim for this guy here.
Alright.
And he is going to use his sling with his metal orbs. He is at advantage, and he is rolling at a pretty solid. Plus 11.
Does it consume advantage if he's already at advantage?
I did not roll that at advantage. I just rolled. My apologies.
That one's the digester's doing.
He is already at advantage, so I mean, yes, it does, because it would be the next strike. Sadly, this guy still will have advantage on the next strike against him. So with a 25, that's the first hit, and then second
I put
strike.
the little spark effect beside it, so
Second
that's
strike's
the advantage part.
Okay, so for damage, he is going to roll.
How will the NPC steal the show this time around?
So he is going to roll
He's
his
gonna
sling
360 no
damage.
scope.
He gets some extra damage due to Colossal Slayer, and he can't Hunter's Mark them yet. So we're gonna go ahead and roll that damage.
What wacky enemy is this guy fighting that he needs Colossal Slayer in the
Giant
Kingswood?
Okay, so 23 points of damage. Okay,
Nice.
so with that, our surprise round is over. Standard initiative is going to occur now. However, as this occurs, and as these creatures are screaming out in pain, some of their family comes out to join. One of whom steps out right into the web.
Nice, we guessed right.
He is going to make a strength save immediately.
So I thought it was a dexterity save.
Web is a strength save. 99% certain.
Read spell.
So it's initial dexterity save, then when
Okay.
they're restrained, they make a strength check to get released.
Okay, will do.
Oh.
So, dex save is a failure. So he is stuck up in the web, and he is considered a large creature. Two others rise up out of either of these pools. And we're going to go ahead and add them into our initiative here.
Ah, dang it.
Uh-oh. Oh, I beat the speed tie.
Okay, so we now have our list of initiative orders. It is 10 o'clock. We are going to go ahead and end our session here and begin next session with our first round of combat. No, so sad, so cringe. I want more than 5 hours of sleep.
Does that little symbol I put stay there?
The little symbol you put, yes, it does until you delete it.
Alright. That's the advantage symbol.
Okay.
Symbol, like the little kind of potion-y thing?
No,
No, the cone.
Or the triangle? Okay.
Yeah, this little thingy that I'm moving around.
Yeah,
It's cone, but I don't know, it had a little symbol that looks like it, so I called it good enough.
Alright, comrades.
Probably won't forget.
I hope you guys had a good evening and enjoyed this. We will begin next session with the full-out combat against this pack of digesters. Hopefully you all don't die.
Hopefully.
Probably. I'll go down.
With that, we're going to go ahead and end the recording. Yes, Thomas?
I won't be able to make next session.